Hey.
Stop. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Fred's here. Fred, say hi. No.
Fred.
He doesn't want to.
Good morning, Fred.
He's very upset with everyone.
Good morning, Fred. Good morning.
And there he is.
Hi. Good morning.
The monster. How's everybody doing today? We are going to be talking about kind of a lot of stuff in this stream here because we didn't do the weekly heat this week. We recorded stuff, but there was some technical difficulties, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But there was also some not bad stuff, but there was some stuff that really kind of pushed us to our off-grid homesteading limits this week, I think.
Yeah, we felt a bit crappy this week.
Yeah. It might be my hair, because one side's going to the market and the other side's coming back with the change. Am I right?
Yeah.
No, but seriously. So things are a bit weird, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But how's everyone doing today? How is everyone's Sunday treating them so far? Don't everybody talk at once. Really. Yeah. Okay. Snowing in Denver.
What? Hi, Diana.
Hi.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to do a joke, and I don't even feel like it. I was going to say, Denver? I hardly know her.
It doesn't even work. So bad. Hi, Fred. Lie down.
Oh.
You can't see me because you're wanting cuddles.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we could just start getting into it, huh? So we'll start with the weekly heat and what we did this week. The first thing we did this week was, well, first off, I just want to thank, and so does Zoe, we want to thank all the people on our Patreon who've been helping us out. You guys are totally amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
And with your guys' help, this week we went out. Well, actually, the last couple weeks we've been picking stuff up. So we got the wheelbarrow, we got the big level, we got a ladder, some wooden broomstick kind of things, some concrete to make tampers. And we're going to be doing that this week, I guess.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we did was Zoe, being the amazing spider human that she is, scaled the side of the trailer and got up on the roof and cleaned those pesky solar panels.
Yeah, they were filthy.
And she took this amazing video of the whole ordeal. Tell them what happened, babe.
I don't know really what happened. I think what I did was I took the first bit of footage. Fred, you're very distracting. Turn round. He's wanting cuddles and he's good boy. I know. Very needy. I took the first bit of footage and, you know, did a pan round, showed everybody the panels and all that kind of stuff. And then I didn't have my glasses on. That's the main problem here, I think, because I was worried they were going to fall off the trailer. So I put the phone down thinking I'd stopped it, but actually I hadn't.
No, you did stop it, but then you turned it right back on again.
Yeah, I stopped it and started it again.
So that threw the whole
so then
system
when I
off.
picked it up to record again, I turned it off. And then
turned it on again when you were done.
Turned it on again when I was done.
Put it back
Put
down.
it down. So there's a lot of footage of the top of the trailer.
Yeah, that's just like on the top of the trailer. And
it's not even looking up. It's just like,
yeah. And there's a lot of dialogue, some audio that no one will ever hear that was a bit risque for YouTube about me talking to my wife. And so none of that will ever make the light of day. But man, when we heard some of that stuff coming back, it's one thing when I say something relatively sexy to my wife, but it's another thing hearing myself say something relatively sexy to my wife. And I was like, whoa. So yeah, so basically that video that would have been like, I don't know, like a 10 to 15 minute video is now 1 minute and 45 seconds. So we might put it up, we might not. We might put it up with some commentary in there. So
yeah, we might put it up like as part of another video so you can see it, because it's interesting to see how dirty they were. And we have noticed a difference, haven't we?
Yeah, the panels on the like potential voltage, the PV meter or whatever, that number has shot up. Not a great deal, but a couple volts. And we were basically getting, like, on a good day, we were lucky to get 13.8 volts in the batteries. And now, what did it get up to? Like 14.6?
Yeah, 14.6, I think it was.
Yeah, so Diana, I don't know how often you're supposed to clean them, but we hadn't cleaned them yet.
Because we couldn't get up on the roof.
Yeah. So
I don't
it's been 5 months. So
yeah, they were filthy.
Yeah.
They were and because everything's so dusty and stuff, it was like just like a fine layer just covering the top completely. So that must have really affected things.
Yeah, because at first
we knew it would, didn't we?
Yeah, but I thought it was more the sun not being directly over the top of us anymore like it was in the summer. The sun's falling farther to the south. So
which is probably affecting it as well. I think in the middle of the summer you'd probably get quite a lot more. Because it's very they're very flat on the top. They're not like leveled at the sun at all. They're flat on the top of the trailer.
Yeah.
Which isn't ideal.
No.
We should, if other ones that we get, we're going to have them so we can move them.
Or if we're going to decide that this trailer isn't going anywhere anytime soon, we might want to just go up there and
arrange them so they're on an angle.
For the winter, because
they're completely flat, and at first the sun was shining directly on them.
Yeah. But
now it's kind of coming like that from an angle. If you see what I mean, like that.
And we just don't get as much sun during the day because the sun's going down earlier.
Yeah.
So
everything's affected. I mean, we're still okay. We just have to be really careful. And when Shay's here, it's just a nightmare because she burns through it in no time. Like everything has to be charged all the time, a laptop and a phone. And it's the same as us, but it's an added person. So it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Shaylee this week is still up in Big Bear because she's in drama and they're doing a play this weekend and next weekend. So
she's in the crew, isn't she? She's doing all the stage shifting and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, Diana, panels, to get the most out of them, you should be able to move them towards where the sun is in order to get the most out of them. So
a lot of people have them like separate from the building on the ground or whenever, but at an angle.
Or even on some sort of mechanism that they could go like this with.
Yeah, so you could angle it at, so they're getting full sunshine the whole time.
Yeah.
Ours are flat. So a lot of the time, I mean, it's difficult because like, unless you're going to be moving around all day, they're not going to be perfect the whole day. But it does make a difference, doesn't it, when it's coming over the top?
No, it definitely makes a difference. I mean, like, honestly, if we had the solar panels right now on the sides of the trailer, we'd be golden.
We would, because the sun just shines in the trailer all
knocks
day.
us out all
and if there's any wind whatsoever, we can't put the awning down because we're worried it's going to damage the mechanism of the tray, of the awning,
or give us a good flip.
Yeah, it is quite scary because when the wind gets going, it kind of, you can feel like you're rocking about until and it kind of reduces a lot, doesn't it, when you pull the awning in? So
that is the solar panel bit. The next bit I want to talk about, and I really want your guys' advice on this, but I always think the worst of things. Zoe, not so much, but me, always think the worst of stuff. And I'm getting to what I mean right here in a second here. So on Friday, I didn't even know it was Friday, which made this whole thing weird. And then Zoe's like, it's Friday. And I'm like, ah, crap, it's Friday. So Friday afternoon, 2 dune buggies drove past our road. Like, okay, we have a road that we live on, but we're the only like actual address on the road.
We're the only building.
We have a physical address, but there's no other physical addresses, if that makes sense. So anyone driving up and down our road, unless they're just trying to get in between.
We get a lot of dirt bikes because the farms on either side of us, they all know each other and they all have properties. Like the farm over on this side has a property behind Crom as well. So instead of going like round, he just bombs round on his bike from place to place, and we know them, so we know, like, we're fine. Like, we'll be like, oh, it's them, and we're fine. But these were like buggies, weren't they?
They were dune buggies that had like a bunch of camping stuff on top of them.
Yeah.
So like it made me like not understand like if they drove up here in them to camp, or if they went out and parked somewhere, because you get a lot of like weekend warrior type, and there's nothing wrong with that technically.
No, there isn't. It's nice if people enjoying it. It's just very like,
it goes back to that whole thing where people who go as tourists to a place act like the place owes them something. And so they drive by and then they go to the end of the road, turn back around and drive back by, which they didn't need to do. But, whatever.
Well, and I was thinking, well, maybe they don't want to be on the main, maybe they're not allowed to be on the main highway. So finding places to go.
Exactly. And that's fine if that's the case.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was the whole shebang and shabooble. Making up words now. I'm so upset.
Shebang and shabooble.
Then at about, I don't know if it was like midnight or what.
Mm-hmm.
It was around midnight. A dune buggy with the lights on top starts coming down our road again. And I'm like, slow. And I'm like, okay, this is great. Then not only do they just come down our road, they turn up our driveway. Now, our driveway does not look like a driveway. Okay, it's not like, oh, look at this cement driveway with an address on the ground next to it. It's a dirt road, okay, like a very loose sand dirt road. I understand that. But what is it pointing at? It's pointing at our trailer, our water tank, our whole life out here, okay? It's not like...
with lights on as well. We still had our lights on. Like, why would you, out of the whole desert, start heading towards a building?
Yeah.
Like, so I wouldn't do that in a million years.
In a million years. So it's coming up, and it's got, like, brights on the top. It's not just, like, a flashlight or headlights. It's, like, 6 or 7 big-ass beams, okay? So it starts coming up our driveway. And then another thing is that our we have PVC pipe coming from our water tank all the way down to the main road because the water truck can't get up here to deliver the water. So we have like 300 feet of pipe that shoots water through. And I buried it under the road, like the driveway bit, but in other parts it's exposed. So the last thing I want is some asshole in a dune buggy bombing around in our front yard and going over our pipes. So I go out there, and the car stops, the dune buggy stops, and it's just sitting there looking at me. And I can't see anybody in it. I just see lights. So I'm staring at them. I guess they're staring at me. So then they decide to turn around, which is scary because if they turn around, they're going to crash into our pipes. But the funny thing is that they fell into the hole that the U-Haul truck got stuck into because I never filled that hole because I'm a dick. And I'm apparently super fucking lazy and have just never even thought to fill that hole in. So after like and a bunch of just like obnoxious noises, they got out. Which they should. It's a fucking dune buggy. Like, it's not like they're gonna get stuck in it. But it was dark. My headlamp fell behind the printer last week. Haven't been able to get that, or my slingshot. Hint, hint. This one keeps saying she's gonna get it. So I didn't want to go out there and start just like wandering around in the dark trying to see what was going on. So I'm like, okay, we'll go out tomorrow morning. So we go out, and it didn't look like anything got busted. So I was happy with that. But I was pissed off that somebody thought that it was okay to fucking come drive up our thing in the middle of the night. What was your argument?
That the road that we are on used to go right through the property towards the two little humpy hills there.
Oh, yeah.
And my argument was maybe people were just like used to using the road and they were going up and seeing if they could get past still. There isn't anything on either side of us. They're dune buggies, you know what I mean?
But on top of that, it was like midnight.
Yeah.
Why would you think, oh, my quiet dune buggy will drive by? They're not. That's what I'm saying. Like, we'll drive by these people who are obviously there right now.
Yeah, with the lights on.
Okay, so people have no respect of boundaries. Exactly. And it gets worse. So then yesterday, I decide I'm going to go.
It was weird.
I'm going to go to the store to get my lovely bottle of the bubbly so she could watch Strictly Come Dancing. Okay? So I'm gone for what, like an hour and a half?
Yeah.
I get back, and instead of freaking calling me or texting me or any of this stuff, she doesn't tell me anything.
Because I didn't want you to worry and freak out about it.
Too late. So tell them what happened. So I'm gone. So the car that's out front is now gone. And it's like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And what happens?
I heard it sounds like a really loud, drony noise because it's going. Because this, what you doing?
Annoying you.
Slow. And I was looking, like it got louder and louder. So I looked out the back, like the bathroom window at this end, the bathroom door at this end of the trailer, and there's a dune buggy coming down the road from the other side. Right the way down the road again towards us. So they're obviously like.
But they're coming from the back.
They're coming from the back instead of from the main road. They're coming from the back all the way down. And they just kept on coming. And I was like, they can see I'm here. They can see the trailers there, you know. And they came all the way down the road right until like maybe 8 foot. 10 foot away from the fence where the road is blocked off by the fence.
The compost
bins in that corner. And they sort of just stopped. And like, we're looking for a bit. And I was standing at the door watching. because I wanted them to know there was somebody here. But I was like panicking as well in case they were going to get out and start giving me, like, I don't know. You don't know what they're going to say or do. Like,
I've seen straw dogs.
That's what Matt said when he got back. He'd seen straw dogs, which wasn't very helpful. So anyway, instead of them going away, like, or turning around or anything, they just went round in a giant U, like, back towards Crom, but right over our land, which obviously they wouldn't know, but it's still annoying and weird. And they just slowly made their way all the way over towards Crom, which is where Giz is buried for a start.
Do they think that, like, people just have little tiny lots?
Maybe. I don't know.
Like, who would... I don't know.
But Giz is buried over there. And that bothered me as well, that they're just going to, like, if they've just driven over his grave, you know, like they don't know, but at the same time, this is our land, so we can do what we want on it, and we haven't got a fence round, so they're not going to know. But at the same time, like, it's still weird, isn't it? And intrusive. Anyway, they went back to the road at the end, because there's a road at the bottom, a very loose road at the bottom of Crom, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's very, like, barely there.
It's like dirt bike trail more than anything.
Yeah. And they went along there, disappeared round the back of Crom, and then about 5 minutes later came back again and went round the bottom of Crom again without coming down on the land. But I thought they were going to come down the road again.
Well, that trail is on our property.
Yeah, it's still part of our...
Is still part of our
it's
property.
Still part of the property. It's like the boundary to the property, isn't it, at that end?
Our land goes up Crom a bit.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So them being on there at all is on our property.
Yeah.
So
but they wouldn't know that.
They wouldn't know that. But my question to viewers is, what are the...
Have they been back since?
Well, no. Last night...
Not today.
After I got back, you said that that they'd left about 10 minutes ago, right? And then I was outside walking around. There was a white truck that was in the lot next to us. It looked like it probably started going down that dirt path back there, but then stopped, and the guy got out and started talking to somebody else, and some other person walked over from the other side of Crom, and they were just sitting there talking, and I sat and watched them until they drove off. But so I don't know if that was them, but so to me, I thought they were casing the joint. I thought the only reason why they came up was because they saw that the car was gone, and that's why they had pulled up so close. Now, that freaked me out, because to me it was like, okay, if they're gonna hit us, it's gonna be in the middle of the night on Saturday. If they're gonna hit us, okay.
Time to mark your boundaries. Very much so.
So I
need some kind of...
tried to just get little cat naps throughout the night.
Seriously, Diana, everyone but Diana's here at the minute. He went to bed, and this is like in front of me, you know, I have to climb over him to do stuff. And he was in bed by like 9:45 or something, weren't you? Because he wakes up super early. Every 5 minutes, he was like standing up and going, What? Was there someone there? Just shouting out. I'm like, no, it's fine. There's nobody around. Oh, okay. And he'd go back to sleep again. And then like 10 minutes later, What? Are you okay? And I was like, hey.
And in my head, I thought if we could make it to like 3:30, we're probably going to be okay.
Like, he's probably being dramatic, right?
Who's being dramatic? Right now or last night?
No, last night. Like, worrying.
I thought that if they were going to come, it would be before 3:30. Because after that, I would figure they would just be too tired.
To me, bikes.
Dirtbags.
I would be so pissed. Yeah, it was just like, I was torn between the fact that I was like, we do have a road that goes, like, cuts through the land. That if they've been coming for a long time, they've probably been using that. But it's there isn't that much difference between either side of our road. It's difficult to explain it, isn't it, with like geography, like to see where it is. But this road is only like to be on either side isn't that big a deal. So for them to be pissed that they can't just cut through the middle of it,
well,
when you can go on either side of it anyway.
Yeah.
And where they're going anyway, there's a house right behind Crom.
Yeah.
Like if they're planning on going all over Crom, there's a house there. You know, there's mountains over there where nobody is. Like, why aren't they going on that bit? It's just weird. But they were like kind of, they looked like it was a weekend with camping stuff and that. They didn't look like they were up to no good to me, but it was still really creepy and kind of just intrusive that they'd come right up. Like, it's like if we were in Big Bear and people were coming right the way up our drive and parking at the top of our drive and looking about like it's your property, you know? And because we're the only property in this like area on this side, it's just like I wouldn't drive up towards a property if there was a road there or not. Like they're in a dirt bike or a buggy, they can go round it. Or a bit lower down or something. Why would you drive towards somebody's building? You know what I mean? Yeah. Pay attention to your gut feelings. I know, I just don't. Our gut feelings are very different because I give people the benefit of the doubt all the time, and Matt's like super paranoid, thinking that everybody's coming to like steal everything. But it's scary, and I understand that. I'm not belittling his feelings on it because I don't know. And we have literally no way of defending ourselves. Like all our property is just there for the taking. Like if we went off to the store together and someone just came up, they could just come up and put everything in a
hey
hi. People could just literally come up and put all our belongings in the back of a truck and leave.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop them doing that.
No. And my question is what is the etiquette when you live in a super rural area where your property lines aren't defined? Like do I need to because I kept thinking last night, should I call Jay and say, hey, do you know who this fucking asshole is? And find out if it was if anyone else was having problems with it. Or then I'm like, well, what if Jay's like, oh, dude, you're out in the middle of the desert. People just drive up. That's what happens. Don't worry about it. I don't know what the etiquette is. And I don't want to piss off our neighbors if it's friends of our neighbors.
Yeah, I know. It's really difficult.
But at the same time, I feel like the only reason why he drove up was because the car was gone.
But he tried to drive up when the lights were on the night before. Do you know what I mean? That's what bothers me.
But that's the whole thing. If he knew that there were people here and the lights were on last night, why the hell is he coming back? What is he?
That's why I think it's just people being annoyed that they can't go up the middle of the land.
Well, the whole reason why the compost bins are right there was to block that off.
Yeah, I know.
Because we have the cattle panel fence, but if you're bombing through here in the middle of the night, I was they might not even see it until they're on top of it. And the last thing I wanted was someone to run over the goddamn fence. So the compost bins are in what used to be part of some sort of dirt bike or dune buggy trail or whatever. But at the same time, it was broad daylight. He didn't need to come all the way up
around the side of it if they wanted to get through. Do you know what I mean? They've come this far anyway. Why didn't he just go around the side instead of turning around and going back that way?
Because I think they wanted to get a good look of everything. I don't know. So I felt like we were being scoped out, and I don't like it. But I don't know, if
we can't afford to fence the entire property off.
I don't even care. Yet. There's rent-a-fence companies, and I'm wondering if I should give them a call on Monday and say, hey, I need 5 acres of fence. What's that going to cost? How does that, do you guys know how that works?
I feel like we need to we'd never even considered that. That was something that we would do in the long run. But I didn't even think that we'd have to do it because, like, there's nobody else around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But it would be useful as well because we need to be able to see our land to be able to, like, work out where to put stuff. And it's difficult to do that, isn't it? To gauge it.
I agree with Matt. Be careful, but I'm the paranoid type. See, us paranoid people have to stay together. Why are you getting so close, paranoid person? No, but yeah,
he is paranoid.
I was so pissed that I couldn't get to my slingshots last night. I'm like, I need to practice. I need to shoot some cans because if that guy comes back, I'm going to shoot out all of his fucking lights on the top of the
Yeah, and I
buggy.
was like, don't do that because if you're going to like make somebody want to come and do something to your property, it's by smashing his property. Like, I'm such a... There's nobody there.
But somebody really came by earlier, but it was like an older couple in a really nice, like, Polaris looking buggy that were just like, oh, look at that. Oh, okay. And so that's fine. Like, that's not a big deal. I mean, we can't close the road off, you know? Like it
doesn't cost anything to find out. Yeah, I think you're right. We need to do that.
As a society, we are too polite to rude folks. You want to know who's too polite to rude folks? This one.
I'm British. British people are the worst. Like, even if you... There's a whole thing on YouTube, isn't there? A whole show.
Churchill, Hitler. I understand the concept of you guys being too polite to do anything.
We're just like... the problem is... like, there's a whole concept of British people who can be, like, furious inside, but you'd still have to be polite.
What was that? Very British problems?
Very British problems,
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it's a show where you're, like, super angry about something, but they're like, okay, thank you. Like, if I hit somebody in a supermarket with my cart, I'll apologize. No, if they hit me, I apologize.
For being in their way.
Or if someone bumps into me, I just go, oh, sorry. I always do. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. I apologize even though they bumped into me. It's ridiculous. And I hate myself when I do it. But it's just like a knee-jerk thing. It's like drilled into you. It's ridiculous. But I do get it. And like it's scary when your entire belongings, your entire life, apart from our stuff in storage kind of thing. But it'll be even worse when everything's here.
Yeah, and this kind of goes into what the next big problem is that I think that we have been subconsciously not putting off building the shed, but just like there's something about starting the build that creates a permanence here. And first off, I need to just get over that whole thought because who cares? Like, we could build 30 structures, and if we decide we want to move to Florida and live on a shrimp boat, why the hell not? You know what I'm saying? Like, who fucking cares?
I know. It doesn't mean we're good. I can't work out if this is me, if I agree with that. Because I'm so frustrated with wanting to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm such a homey person, aren't I? I think it's
homie, because like I'm a homie.
I'm a homely person. Like, I need my comforts around me and just little. It doesn't have to be much. Like, I'm not a material person. We've never had like.
Well, babe, you know that I am a material girl.
Codename Werewolf.
Yeah, that's the Nick Carter book.
I thought it was like a werewolf book. I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't need a lot of material possessions. I'm not like that, but I do need things that mean stuff to me.
Zoe, you want to nest.
Yeah,
I understand.
I do. That's what it is. It's a nesting thing. It's like having things that mean stuff to you close round you. So I feel secure. So if I'm sitting, I can look and I've got like just these things that mean stuff to me around me where they should be.
Yeah.
And you're not like that, are you? You just want things to be practical so that you can do stuff.
Like, I have a lot of crap, which is weird for someone to be like a collector type of person, to not really care if they have anything. But it's like right now,
you would though if you had no books.
If I had no books, and like, okay, here's the thing. The other thing that's making this difficult is that Zoe's been doing Inktober, and I've been doing Preptober, and any other kind of tober you guys want to throw in there, okay? Because I'm doing NaNoWriMo next month, which is the National Novel Writing Month thing. So we're both working like more than we have since we've been out here.
Like every day.
Yeah. And I feel like we're stepping on each other's toes, getting underneath each other all the time. And poor Zoe. Oh, you want to hear that?
Yeah.
You want to hear where that thought was going? When I'm creating stuff, when I'm writing and in the writing process or whatever, I go very much inward. I'm a very internal person. I just think all the time and I don't talk. And that drives her crazy. So when we're already having like stressful situations because of how we're not building yet and we're not doing any of this stuff, and then I'm like silent, it drives her crazy.
It doesn't drive me crazy. It just makes me a bit anxious because I'll be like, are you okay? Because it's difficult to know.
And then you're like, are you upset with me? Was there something I did? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then so she doesn't talk to me. And then I'm like, are you mad at me? Was it something I said?
I know, it's
and then
ridiculous.
We spend like the next 3 hours like sucking up to each other for no fucking reason.
There's no reason whatsoever because we're not needy with each other a lot of the time. We both like sitting quietly doing stuff. Like it's perfectly normal for us to be sitting reading together and not talking, you know, or me doing something and you watching something on your like phone or on the laptop or something,
or you watching a movie,
or me watching. We're very like comfortable in silence, aren't we? We don't have to be sitting.
Hey, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas. We're very like comfortable just being in each other's company without having to like talk to each other all the time. But I think with us being indoors in this small little confined space doing stuff, because this is the only place we have no shade outside and the sun's lower, so there's like literally it doesn't like the awning doesn't even work now because the sun's like underneath it. So it's like literally on apart from that side, which we're thinking we're gonna try and set up a little area on that side of the trailer.
It should just be like the winter pergola.
We just put the table over there.
The winter pergola. The winter pergola. Okay. I'm just gonna keep saying it. J.E. Crow said, I went through a 2-year period where I was writing a lot and my household fell apart. Not good for the kiddos. That is heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
So the fact that Shaylee isn't staying here all the time makes that a little easier for me.
Because when she's here, we try and make an effort to like play games with her and go play.
And I'm still having like a weird balancing act thing.
It's hard, isn't it? Because there's nowhere you can go. It's such a small space. You can't say, okay, I'm going to go and do my writing for an hour or two, and then we'll go and do stuff together.
Which is weird because that's how life was forever.
Yeah.
You know, like I homeschooled Shaylee. I think I just said this last week or whatever, but I homeschooled Shaylee until she was in 7th grade or 8th grade. 8th grade.
8th, I think, yeah.
And we had this thing where we would get up, we'd have breakfast, I would start working, she would start her schoolwork. And then we would like around 10, we would like kind of touch bases and see where each other was at, and if she needed help, and as long as it wasn't math, I would do my best to help her, and if it was math, I would BS my way through it. I am a great parent whose answer whenever she didn't know how to do a math problem, Google it. But so then we would go back to our ways, and then she would keep going until noon, and I would be writing. And then usually by then, either I would be done for the day or burn out for the day. But and then she would want to like watch a movie or go do something or whatever. And we had like a total system. But now that the system has been so thrown up in the air, last time Shaylee was here, she was here during the week because she was on fall break. And I was trying to get some work done during the day, and you wanted to get some Inktober done. And I'm like working on something. You're like, go ahead and play Uno with her. And I'm like, no, it's okay. No, go ahead and play Uno with her. Play Uno. Play some Uno with her.
I know. Really,
and I was like, Jesus Christ. And so like the next day, she was wanting to do something. I'm like, hey, go play Uno with her. You'll like it. You'll have fun. Go play Uno with her. But it's like that balance when it's been gone and then comes back. That's harder than if it's just here all the time. Because every time she comes back down here, it's like we have to like retrain ourselves as to how to like manage, you know?
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's awkward.
Yeah. Which is why I keep thinking, well, I need to desperately
seek
build.
Susan.
No. I desperately need to build stuff. We need to build and get like separate spaces.
Yeah.
That's like sheltered from the wind and all the sand blowing around.
Dude, let me tell you, my computers and the printer.
The printer's kaput.
Yeah.
Which is a real worry.
I don't know how much longer my computer's got left. They're making noises. Sand is constantly being blown into them. I used to do a lot of writing outside, and I can't do that right now. So, I mean, you guys could probably hear the wind. You could see my lovely beard flowing in it. But yeah. So, what are you doing?
I'm looking to see if you can see it.
Oh. Now watch the wind dies just because I asked it to do something. Thanks, wind! We are one trip to Santa Ana away from starting. What that means is that the bags that we're using, we have to go down to Santa Ana and pick them up. And we pretty much have everything else we need, right? With the exception of doing the roof and finishing the walls.
Yeah.
We got all the other materials. We have to make our tampers. And once we make our tampers and pick up the barbed wire,
we can get an actual flat square one for like $10 as well, which we might just do.
Are you joking?
No.
The tamper? $10. $10.
Yeah.
Those poles were $5 a piece.
I can't remember, but they're not expensive.
I thought they were like $30. Oh man. Somebody at Home Depot is going to get fired.
Why?
Because I'm pissed. I'm pissed. So as soon as we do that, and we think it'll be next week because we
keep saying this so people
no, but we have to go down to Riverside next week. So when we go down, since we're going to be towards that direction, we might as well just go pick the bags up. And then we'll start as soon as we're back, I guess.
But then it's NaNoWriMo, so we're gonna.
Yeah, but I already decided that. And me and John were talking about it, and he's like, "Dude, you are NaNoWriMo. You nano all the time. Like NaNoWriMo's for people who've never written a book before, and they just want to see if they can. You've written books. You can nano whenever you want. You are nano. I am nano." And then we went back and forth like that for a little bit with some LOLs and poo emojis. So
just the usual kind
just the usual kind of crap. So I was thinking like, and what I was saying to him, even if we were to build, it would take probably 3 days in my head to do the walls, to get them up. What is with you? How long do you think it's going to take?
I just think it'll take longer than 3 days.
It will, but we still need to do the floor, and the floor has to cure. We need to do the...
You do the floor last, right?
I don't think we should do the roof until the floor's done. Do you think we should do the roof and then do the floor?
Yeah.
Why? I think the sun would be good for the floor to cure it faster.
Don't know.
So anyway, what I was basically saying is that
I think it needs to be weatherproof.
Well, yeah.
And then you do the floor.
What weatherproof?
Because if it dries out too quick, you can't have it dry out. You have to keep wetting it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
For it to...
Oh, I see what
properly.
you're saying. So you want to put the roof up first before we even do the floor.
Yeah.
The other way to do it is... Oh, well, that's if we're doing cob, and we're not going to do that. So forget I brought that up. But yeah, so anyway, yeah. I always double my husband's timeline. Wow. Well, you know what? Why don't you keep that opinion to yourself? No, that's me doubling my own timeline because I thought it would take like a day or two to like put.
Seriously, double and some. 3 days.
Watch, I'm gonna blow your freaking mind. You're gonna go, babe, I can't believe you got that up in like a day. You're like, I've been asleep this whole time. I haven't even been up yet to help, and it's already finished. And I'll say, yeah.
And then in the background,
and then I'll fall off the wall.
No, and in the background, it'll just quietly go.
Well, we need to make a little window frame so I could stand there. So when it falls, I go through the frame and it falls around me, and I go, ah.
Like Buster Keaton.
Jazz hands, yeah. Wow, everyone's jumping on this husband timeline being a bunch of crap.
It's so bad. He does it every time. He's like, it'll only take a couple of days. I'm like, no, man, it's not. It's going to take a while.
Getting the walls up really isn't going to take that much time. It's so, listen, it's all like,
here's Bill.
It's repetitive motion. Bill,
concrete wants to cure slowly. If that's what your floor is going to be, wet the sand down right before you pour it.
That's okay, Bill. We're doing an earthen floor, and I know there's a couple different ways we can do it, and we have a book that is...
It's still concrete.
Just on earthen floors. I know, but there's like different ways you can do it. What the hell is that? He actually got it.
He actually got an earthen floor book because he really wants to do and put linseed oil on it, so it's like a lovely cured.
Yeah.
We've seen people do it on, what is it called? Thingy Heart?
Oh, Ironheart?
Ironheart. If you go to YouTube.
They haven't done anything in a while, huh?
No.
They need to do something.
But they did an awesome earth bag home.
Oh,
which
Bill,
is an Airbnb now.
Bill. Earlier in the video, we talked about people coming onto your property. And I need...
Full vegan. I think I've got the...
We'll check them out.
I've checked it out. I've seen some of those, Bill.
See you later. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye. Thanks so much.
But Bill, basically, if you didn't catch the beginning of it, the last 2 days, people have been driving up on dune buggies, like right up to our fence, and then driving through our property. And they came up to the fence when I wasn't here and Zoe was here because the car wasn't here. And so I don't know if I should be completely losing my mind or what the etiquette is for rural living and how people can't see property lines. So of course they're going to drive over your property maybe and all this other stuff.
If they've driven over Gizzy's grave, I'm going to be so upset.
Well, and I also don't want them to drive over the pipes in the front.
No, yeah, of course. But that was because they were on that side of the property. But
so,
our pipes to, pipe the water, Bill, it goes right down. It's on the top at the minute because we still haven't buried it yet. And we're worried that they're going to drive over it and crack it.
They poured cement mix with the sand and wet it down. Mixed it and rolled it flat. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah. That's just like soil cement kind of stuff, right?
That's what you do for the floor to
Yeah.
get like an earthen, like a hard cement floor. That's what, and then linseed oil on the top, so it's like a breathable but protected surface.
Oh, I cannot wait.
I know.
I'm just gonna take off my clothes and lay on the floor naked. Thomas, get a shotgun, right?
I know, but I don't. I'm freaking out because if you get a shotgun, I'm worried that if we're gonna I'll probably blow my head off.
Yeah, she's like, should
foot.
I get wait, what did you ask for?
I was like, should we get an air rifle?
Oh, an air rifle.
Like we've got one, but I can't do much damage.
So like when the guy comes up, she goes up to the door, cocks her air rifle.
And then goes. They're really powerful.
I know there are. In Texas, you have no trespassing signs posted. You can just shoot the trespassers, kill them. If you're going to get a weapon, get a real one, not a toy.
I don't want to get a weapon because I feel like if you have one, you're
asking for trouble.
Not just that, it's like cranking up.
It's like, does being Batman make his own villains? Or would there be no villains in Gotham if Batman didn't exist?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Now that we're putting it into terms that we could all understand.
I just think it's like cranking up the issue.
They ask for trouble when they come onto your property. Boom! Diana is going to kill everybody. Diana, I like how you think.
But how do they know they're on our property?
But we have a sign up here, but we don't have a sign on all the edges of the property.
No, our land is it's fenced literally just in a little small area round our...
It's, what, 800 feet?
Yeah.
Around? And then our property's 5 acres.
That's all we could afford at the time. But the property, so we're like a little blob in the middle of the 5 acres. So...
Oh my God, Bill's cracking me up.
What?
If that's how you feel, get a wiffle bat. Oh, that's awesome. See, the funny thing is, I was gonna go shooting ball bearings with my slingshot into everybody.
Yeah,
so. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh man, I could just picture it. He's driving away. I shoot him. I hit him in the eye. He can't see. The doom buggy hits some bush and goes flying up into the air and flipping. And then I'm like, do I call the cops or do I bury him? Like, what do I do? We're in the desert. I could bury him.
Seriously, if you but if he cracked the light, if you shot at him and cracked his lights, would we be liable for his damage? He could sue us then.
No, because he's on our property, and I could say the first one was a warning shot. Because I'm assuming I'm not going to hit him on the first shot, even though it doesn't make a noise. I could go. Pew! Warning shot.
Is he talking any sense?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No, somebody on the road.
Oh, man. I have been losing my freaking mind.
You're really jumpy.
But they dared to come close then again. Yeah, I'm kind of over it. But the second we escalate anything, what's going to end up happening is the second I leave and you're here, I'm going to be losing my mind the whole time.
I know.
I've seen straw dogs. Shoot them in the leg. In Texas, you paint your property post corners a light purple color. It's a universal sign, no trespassing. All surveyors know this. I will do that. That's not a bad idea. You could just put posts on the corners, paint them purple.
We should totally do that.
Because the other thing was, there's like rent-a-fence companies,
yeah,
and I'm gonna call on Monday. I don't think Thomas was here when we talked about this either. I'm gonna call him and just see how much it would be to put fencing around the 5 acres.
I can't read it.
Bill's idea is cost
effective.
Yeah, it really is. But California is a whole different place. Yeah, in California, if someone breaks into your house, you have to like bake them cookies while they're robbing you.
And apologize.
Give them a hand job and show them the door. Walk them to their car and give them a kiss goodnight. Yeah, what are you going to do? So, hawk. But anyway, so I don't know. So I think I'm going to do that tomorrow and just see. And if it's not horribly expensive, I think I'm going to want to do it. I mean, obviously we would have to talk about it, sweetheart. But
this is all crazy to me. Because it's just very different. Like Bill, in England, you don't have that.
After I left, okay, this is the second time he came up. He drove all the way up from the back of our property up to our fence to just look.
First of all, Bill, the night before, was it?
Yeah.
On like Friday night,
drove up.
He drove up the front. Like the road, we have a road that cuts through the middle of our property, like a dirt road. That's not like a road. It's not marked or anything like formally, is it?
No.
But it's like what people obviously will have been using to go cut through the property. He drove up the front and got stuck in where the U-Haul got stuck.
That cracks me
in the pitch black, with his big beams, like big. Like headlights on the top.
And like I went out there.
Matt was standing there looking at him and he was looking at you, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But he couldn't see anything, just the lights. And he got stuck in the hole and did loads of like reversing and stuff and then reversed like round in a weird circle, which we were panicking that he'd driven over our pipes to get back to the road. And then he went. And then yesterday in broad daylight, Matt was out at the store. Mm-hmm. And I was on my own here, and he drove from the back of the property down the road from the other direction, and got right up to the property.
Dude, Thomas, I'm going to build you your own little pod to live in. Jesus Christ.
He came right the way up to the back of the property and stopped because they couldn't get past the compost area.
I don't think that's what it is. I think they were looking because the car wasn't here.
It might be.
And they were just checking out what we had and what was going on.
And I was standing at the door, like I was worried to go out because I didn't want to like talk to them about anything. And when they sort of sat for a while looking and then they drove off, but right through the property and right over where like Giz is buried and all that stuff, back to the road at the end, which is still part of our property. And then he came back round again at the end, but not onto just along the road, which is really unnerving.
Now, I am all about setting traps, Bill. Like, I have been known to hide in the bushes for hours on end, waiting for people to come with toilet paper. So I can do horrible things. This is why G-Bear has gates and hides his van from view. Yeah, like...
I know.
But my question is...
Like, G-Bear would be out with his rifle, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess... Because, like, the thought I had was, is there an etiquette to where if you don't have... your property properly marked, that you're not supposed to get pissed off if people drive over your property?
Yeah, that's what we need to know.
Like I just don't know what.
Like we haven't got any boundaries.
What are the
marked
rules?
Out. We don't have any boundaries there, so technically the only bit fenced is the bit round us. But still, I would know more in a million years where there's just one little RV in the middle of nowhere.
The only reason why you would drive right up to it is if you were going to steal stuff from it. And I know you think I'm crazy about robbers,
I think you might be right,
there's people I've known who have
it's a road.
Who have stuff out in the desert. And they're gone for a week, and they come back, and the place is completely gutted.
I know.
Just like that dude in Arizona.
Our family thinks we're nuts because we don't want to just go and hang out all the time for, like, family occasions and stuff. They have all sorts of family lunches and barbecues and stuff. And we're always really worried about leaving the property. excuse me, because at the minute we have absolutely no way of protecting anything that we have on the property. And they won't let us take our dogs with us. So the dogs are here, but they're like tiny. And so, one, you're leaving the dogs in the middle of the summer, which is a worry. And two, you're leaving everything that you own with no way of protecting it. So we're kind of like, yeah, you know, and they think we're just being dicks, don't they? And that we're being antisocial and stuff. And we're like, no, we have nothing to protect ourselves. We need to be, at least one of us needs to be here.
Let's see here. Diana says, listen to Bill. Tom says, use barbed wire. Smiley face. This is why you're, oh, high advanced review. Okay. Then Diana says, is there a city or state department you can call and ask? Honestly, we really don't want
to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds shady, but we just don't want people sniffing around.
The whole reason why I wanted to move out here in the first place was to be left the fuck alone. So if that means like we're kind of on our own as far as like
we can research things ourselves don't want to get ask your guys' opinion and stuff, but we don't want people knowing.
Because the second we get like someone from the city involved, like we'll go, oh, can you come help us do this? I'll go, okay. Oh, that's a inch and a quarter PVC. That's illegal. I'm gonna fine you and take your PVC out of here. You need an inch and a half, you stupid asshole. Like, there's so many fucking ridiculous regulations that change and pop up all the time. Which we
don't want to do things to be unsafe.
I just don't want, I'm not going to fucking kill my family to make a house.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's just like, I don't want someone telling me what the fuck to do.
If it ain't marked, you can't really blame a dumbass for looking around for some back road. Yeah, you see? That's what my argument is.
Got to at least post signs at any entry to roads on your land.
That's what we need to do. We need to put a sign at the end of the road.
Diana, the funny thing is, when we were first looking into purchasing land out here, we kept going and calling.
You have the right to bear arms.
Hell yeah. I got a right to these bear arms, motherfucker.
Stop swearing.
I'm so upset. Okay,
no,
seriously. When we first came out,
let me tell Bill this first. Bill, last night he went to bed at like 20 to 10 because he'd been up at like 6 or something ridiculous. And every like 10 minutes he was like, "Are you okay? What? Is there anyone there?" And I was like, "No, you're okay, babe. You can go to sleep." And he'd be like, "Okay." And he like literally, it was like that every like sound. If I got up and made a cup of tea or anything, he was like, "Oh God." No, and he was on it, and I was like, I can't live like this for the rest of our lives. If anybody drives past, he was an absolute nervous wreck. The robbers are going to come and get us.
The robbers. Let's see. Okay, so smiley faces. Matt's arms are always bare. Rim shot that crap, Diana.
They are.
Okay, so anyway.
She's not wrong.
We kept going to all of these like county offices and calling people on the phone. And every time I had a question, nobody knew the answer. And like they would send me to this department or then send me from there to this department. And I was like, wow, yeah, and I mean, we were asking like, to me, the simplest freaking questions in the world. And then I had done some research and I'm like, oh, okay, well, it looks like, with HV5 zoning, blah, 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 blah. You can do this, 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 and that. Is that okay? What zone? And I'm like,
HVR5.
Yeah. I'm like,
RL5.
Are you not understanding what I'm saying? And so half the time we knew more of the codes and regulations than the people at the county offices did.
I had no clue what we were talking about.
But instead of just admitting that they didn't know, they would go, oh, you see, this isn't my department. You're going to need to talk to so-and-so. And then you're going to need to get a permit to even have that conversation. And I'm just like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm done. I had to call the sheriff to report a break-in at my cabin in my country, larger than the state of Connecticut. Took them 45 minutes to show up. It was just illegals taking every scrap of food.
Oh no.
Who was that? Who had like they had like a hunting trailer?
It was that guy in Arizona.
What's the channel called? Someone we watched just had. It was recent, right?
Yeah, it was just.
They broke in and like
he has like
took all the stuff out of his trailer.
It's all like camouflage and stuff, isn't it? It's like a hunting trailer in the middle of nowhere. And he hadn't been. He just goes. He has his own little homestead area. Like I don't know how far away it is, but they go like every so often to like the hunting place. And when he got there, it was just trashed. Everything was taken.
It's like everything was gone, and then like they took craps on the floor and just like.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah. Like they just destroyed the place. It just sucked.
But the one thing like that gives us a little bit of hope is we like you can see the road, the main road. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing because, like,
because like
we do have
my
farms
saving
on either
grace,
side of us.
the thing I always am like, oh, okay, well, at least blah blah blah. The ground is so soft right now, and it won't be like this all year because last year when we were coming up here, I was driving all through here in May, or April and March and stuff.
Yeah,
when we were first looking at it.
See, we were driving around.
Yeah, but right now. You can't.
No, I mean, we were driving around on land.
I know, but there was nobody here. I wouldn't drive up to someone's house.
No, I know. I wouldn't in a million years. That's what I keep
But
thinking.
like the sand is so soft, I'm always like, well, if somebody's going to come and rob us or something when we're not here, chances are their cars are going to get stuck in the sand, and then they're going to look like the worst robbers of all time because they got their fucking truck stuck or something. Because like I'm talking about. I've seen people in 4x4s get stuck out here. I've seen big trucks get stuck out here.
Literally everybody who comes down our road has got stuck at some point.
And I mean, we've gotten stuck a couple times, but I've gone up and down this one bit so many times now that it's kind of packed.
Not on that side.
No, not on that side.
I think people are right though. I think the main thing we should do is put like 2 posts on either side of the road and a chain over with private land, no trespassing.
I say an electric wire, like an electric fence wire, razor wire, electric. So if they touch it, it zaps them.
Yeah, razor electric wire. Wow.
Sounds like a company, Razor Electric. County administrators are clueless desk jockeys until you piss them off.
I know.
Then they will drill down on you and ruin you with fines, fees, and court orders, dude.
Yeah. The problem is, do we tell them about the whole? We're not even allowed to.
This is awesome. Should we tell them about the thing we're not allowed to even do? What are you talking about?
About the potable water.
Oh, building?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have before. We're not allowed to. We can't get permits to build here unless we have a well, and the well would cost more to drill here. So we came to find out than if we were to actually go out and buy like a brand new home somewhere. So we have.
It's a law at the minute.
Yeah.
That you're not allowed to get a permit from the county unless you have a well. You can't get a permit if you're using potable water.
Yeah. Which is what we're doing. So now all of our
and that's to build a house.
Yeah.
I can't remember what size it is, minimum upwards or whatever.
Yeah. So now all the dwellings we have to build have to be 120 square feet
or under.
Yeah. And a well is no guarantee of hitting water.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we're freaking out about. I'm like, okay, so this is all it's going to cost.
Was it 30?
I think the lowest quote I got was 20,000. But the highest one was something like 65. But everyone was like, and that's like on the first drill. Like we're going to drill where we think the water is. And if there's no water there, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
And it's like...
We just haven't got that amount of money to do anything. So that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So we, at the minute, our way around it is to just to live in the trailer and to have buildings of less than 120 square feet to use for our various needs.
Yeah.
Like for office space, all that kind of stuff, and do it like that. So we have like a home that's sort of split over lots of small spaces rather than a big space with all the permits.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to do it the right way.
Yeah.
But every single thing that we did,
well, at first, the first guy I talked to said water tanks are illegal. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You can't drive 5 feet
without
down this highway without seeing water tanks everywhere. Oh, no, you can't have those. Those are illegal. And I'm like, you're full of shit.
What it means is
you can't get a permit
to build a home if you have a water tank.
Y'all need to sell out, pack up, and move to Texas.
I know.
Okay, we're going to talk about this too, if we haven't brought this up before. There were many places that we were looking at when we decided we were going to move. And this place we picked mainly because it was close enough to where if Shaylee was living here full time and I had to drive her to school every day, I could. Because she didn't want to leave the school. And I know I really kind of screwed the pooch there. I should have just said, tough shit. Everybody has to move away from their friends at some point. Everyone has to change their life at some point. I did it. You didn't, but I did it. And everyone I know
I did. I went to a different school and all my friends were at.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have to like leave that school halfway through and move halfway across the country or whatever.
I don't think I would have been that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But she was really bothered.
This is the first school that Shaylee's ever been to that she's really felt like
accepted.
Yeah, and she has like a group of friends and all that kind of thing.
She's doing good.
She's doing good, and we haven't like. It's been difficult because she's had all sorts of upsets and been hauled around all different places, hasn't she?
Not really.
No, but she's moved a lot. She hasn't been settled for a while, and Big Bear was like
very settling.
Yeah, it's the first place where she's really felt settled. And
so because she still has now 1.5 years left of school, we thought the first place we try, we should do it close by. And the second we did it, we thought we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Like we were like, we shouldn't just.
Why are we like limiting ourselves so much just to enable Shaylee to be comfortable in her school?
Yeah.
And that sounds awful, but it was just like we were torn down the middle of trying to be good parents, trying to keep her as settled as possible.
Because I mean,
she's had her ups and downs, though, hasn't she, emotionally? And stuff.
I think
it's scary. I think as a parent that you don't want to rock the boat and make things worse.
I think we got a good deal for the most part on this property.
Yeah,
but if we were looking at New Mexico or Texas or Louisiana, or even we were looking at Mississippi and Alabama as well, we could have got so much more land.
Didn't get a notification.
I didn't get a notification like hour on the stream.
I think we need to.
You know what? Oh, what were you going to say?
I think we need to let people know a bit earlier.
Well,
what time we're going to do it.
What I have found out is that YouTube is doing something weird right now.
There's a lot of channels that we've been watching that unsubscribing people.
Yeah. But the other thing that is coming up is that channels that do live streams and videos, I don't know if that's the reason why the things are happening that are happening, but people who do streams are getting pushed down into the ether.
Really?
Whereas, and this one channel I watched that's been around for a long time, and I can't even remember what channel it was, but they showed a statistical graph of all, before they were streaming, like how many views their videos were getting. and how much traffic they were getting through like through their AdSense and all that other stuff. And once they started doing streams, it just like died. Like it completely just fell through the bottom. So that guy now has a streaming channel and then his video channel, and he doesn't mix them. So, but a lot of people I know who do stream, people haven't been getting notifications on their videos either. So I don't know if it's a thing, because like last night I got a notification for someone doing a stream that I wanted to watch, and it was like nearly 30 minutes in when I got the notification, and I clicked on it right away, and the stream had already been on for like a half hour, and I was just like, what the hell's this? Like, why get notified if you're not going to actually be notified when the stream goes live? So we're glad you're here now, though.
Very glad. Thank you.
So just look at this as an 18-month education. Then get the F out of California. You know what's so funny? We were just talking about this yesterday. That like whatever we do here, let's just do it and learn a lot, have fun doing it, and know that this isn't forever. Like I can't remember who was saying it, if you were saying it or if somebody said it to you, but they're like, oh, so you went out and bought a coffin? Unbelievable. Nina doesn't like hearing that kind of stuff. No, but yeah, so let's just do what we can do. You know, like we're going into the OC this week coming up, so hopefully we'll have the bags. I know we say that all the time, but thanks to our awesome patrons, we got a bunch of stuff already for building. And we're kind of ready to go. All we need is the actual bags.
This week has been so weird, like mentally, hasn't it?
It has been an exhausting, emotionally.
I don't know why. Week. I just think it's like a lot of different things, but
yeah, I think
we've both been doubting whether we're doing the right thing. And I think if we just get going, I think more than anything, it's just like cabin fever, because we're stuck in here.
Like
it's really hot.
To each other all the time.
Right. It's really hot outside still through the day. We don't have any shade, so we can't like get out of each other's hair. I think it's just, I don't know.
Well, after she graduates, I kind of want to go to Bora Bora.
I know, that's what.
And live in a little grass hut with my unlimitedville internet. Oh, I did the wrong winky eye. All right. My tablet battery is super low. Gotta go.
Thanks for all your help, Bill. Thank you.
But yeah, so anyway, I was even telling Shaylee that I'm like, I'm gonna sit in a little lounge chair
with your feet
on the beach with my feet in the sea, and the waves when they come up barely touch my butt, and just sit and type. That would be nice. Yes, it is YouTube, because I've been checking my feed since 30 minutes ahead. Oh my God, that's awful.
No way, I'm so sorry about that.
Well, there's
something weird going on.
There is something. And I did a stream on my Paperback Junkie channel earlier today, and I'm going to look at the analytics afterwards and kind of see, because like the stream did not have many views. I think I had 3 viewers the whole time. And not saying that Paperback Junkie is the end all be all, but for F's sake, people, 3 views.
Wow.
Or wait, no. Don't move. And then you go.
My arm would be like. Because I wouldn't be able to get the air pressure up. Very funny. Oh, yeah, you think it's funny too, Fred.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Fred thinks you're hilarious.
Oh, I thought my head was going to pop right then. It was like so much pressure laughing. whoo. No, because I can totally see you. Like, you can't get that last thing down, and you're like, shit, he's coming closer. Oh, God, give me a minute. And then you're like whacking it on something, and then you break the faucet off of the thing, trying to get the gun to go back down so you can fire. Oh my God, that is comedy.
It's me. That's what would happen. Just say that. Give me.
Oh shit. Maybe if I ask nice, he'll help me push this in, and then I'll take it back and I'll shoot him. I'll shoot him good, right in the chest.
Oh my God.
Freaking heck, dude! This one cracks me up, dude. The stuff she pulls up, like, oh my God, Comedy Central.
It's not intentional though. Like, everyone can see, I'm not funny when I try to be. It's.
What are you talking about?
It's my failing.
You told a joke the other day. My little weak wrist. You told a joke the other day that was hysterical. Can't remember what it was, but I remember laughing. And I remember thinking, wow, good quip.
Good quip. Oh my God. It was so fun. The whole, like, I don't know. I think we've just been very... I think it's just
this has been. I think this last week was the lowest I've felt since we've been out here.
Seriously, we've been very, very like. Oh,
but I feel
down.
like a lot of it is us not communicating properly, because I feel like
sit down and talk.
I'm gonna make some hot water so we can have some tea and coffee.
Okay.
So entertain the folks, babe.
What were you saying? You said I feel like we haven't been communicating.
No, because you know how I was saying, like...
Why are you licking my elbow, Fred?
Why do you keep interrupting me?
Sorry, Fred's licking my elbow.
Well, I know, but you didn't say Fred until the end, and I'm pouring water, and then you're like, why are you licking my elbow? And I'm like, who the hell are you talking to? Sorry, guys. One time... That's our Fuji's joke. No, what I was going to say...
See what I mean about being close quarters?
What I was going to say, babe, is that I feel like when you get down, you're down because she's been saying all sorts of stuff. She's like, what if you die? I don't know anybody here. I'm trapped out here all by myself.
That's awful, isn't it?
If you're dead. And I'm like, why the fuck am I dead? Like, why is this a thing?
Well, you have family out here. I'm completely on my own in America.
It's your family too.
I know it's my family too, but it's not the same. Like, it's like, I don't know. And nobody comes near us because we're like out in the middle of nowhere. And that's fine, but we're kind of really antisocial. And, and I just thought, are we going to be here forever? And like, am I going to be like a little old lady wandering around in the desert?
Zoe, you can come to Denver.
Oh, yay!
Hopefully she won't have to use a map to get there because she doesn't know her directions very well.
I do know my directions.
She'll be in Mexico City before she goes, wait a second.
That's very rude.
I thought I was in New Mexico this whole time.
Map, guys. This is because of an incident the other day.
It's also because when we're trying to figure out like which way's north and which way's south, you're like,
this is all made up. I'm very good with
You can include that scene in the next Black Star series.
There you go.
Hello, Zoe. Okay.
I just suddenly have visions of me, like just like a creaky little old lady wandering around.
Like we bought her a coffin.
Yeah. I don't feel like that.
So
That's
anyway,
a stupid thing. Like the minute I sit outside,
when you get like that, I feel awful because I'm like, God, I just ripped her away from her whole life and brought her out here. She can't even go to 7-Eleven to make a phone call at a payphone.
What are you talking about?
Like the whole thing, like I'm
capable of looking after myself.
I know you are.
I could perfectly, like, I could look after myself, but the question is, like, would I want to out in the middle of nowhere?
Here.
You know what I mean?
I'm having a heart. Listen. I'm having a heart attack. It's an emergency. We need an ambulance. What number do you call?
911.
Okay, there it is. Because what's the number in England?
999.
Yeah. So that was a hurdle we had to get over.
That took a while to get used to. Didn't mean I'd just end up with like 50 dogs and me.
You're like the dog lady.
I would. That's what I would do. I'd just have 1 million dogs.
Hey guys, I want to interrupt this program to bring you this moment, I guess. Cafe Soble Legal is my favorite instant coffee. Okay. Way more so than Nescafe. You usually have to go into the Hispanic aisle to find this. Guess what I found out? Nescafe, 0 calories. Legal, 15. This is why this tastes better, because there's fucking sugar in it. I'm pissed. I've been like sucking this down like freaking candy, like multiple times a day.
Yeah, you have.
And
he
it
loves his legal coffee. That's why it's got
and it says right there with caramelized sugar. I never even saw that.
No wonder it's so delicious.
Mother, it's like a caramel macchiato.
Does it taste sweet?
I didn't think it did. My taste buds are gone. Does it smell sweet? Sweet!
Kind of, yeah.
Did I whistle?
Kind of.
I'll put this in the oatmeal next time.
He actually did that.
I put oatmeal in a bowl and then sprinkled a tablespoon of instant coffee on top of it before putting the hot water on it. And I thought, I'm like, I kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Have a cup of coffee and my oatmeal. Wasn't good. It was not tasty. You ever try Bustelo coffee? It's espresso coffee. Why do I always want to say express? I was a barista once, and I still say espresso because it gets you there expressively fast.
You're terrifying.
Is that instant coffee? It probably just cuts the bitterness a bit. It probably does, but it is actually quite tasty. In fact,
he really likes it.
I'm going to go pour me some right now.
The 15 calories in each.
See what I did there? It's almost Halloween. Bustelo is good. Is it instant?
She said yes. Oh, it's not instant.
Oh. I'm on an instant.
Oh, Thomas is agreeing. Try the instant version of it though. Ooh.
What color's the can or whatever?
What does it? What you're gonna have to go and look it up.
Just tell me what color the can is, guys, or the glass thing, or
the
whatever.
Jar. My parents, you're gonna have to read it, babe. I can't see.
Oh, Zoe doesn't have her glasses on.
My parents used to let us drink as kids, but with lots of milk. Ooh, oh, yellow and red.
Everyone knows about this, but me. How is that possible?
I don't know.
I used to think I was quite the connoisseur of crap.
I wonder if you can't get it in California.
No, Bustelo was not instant. Try the Cafe Bustelo instant. Yes, you can get it instant. Thomas, my parents used to let us drink as kids, but with lots of milk.
I used to always have coffee with a ton of milk in. You all excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like espresso.
Oh, God, it'll be like...
Everybody, how's it going? Who fucking needs Adderall?
Wow. Is the kettle boiled? Seems like the longest kettle boiling in all... Look at me. You could just see Venus' ears. Where's she? Get up here, Mimi. You're adorable.
Do you want me to make you a cup of tea? My sweet.
It has the classic yellow label, but in a jar for the instant. It has the classic yellow label, but in a jar for the instant.
I will check it out.
Yeah, he's going to like that. No wonder you were enjoying that if it has the sugar in it already. That's ridiculous. What?
quit making it sound like I'm just a big sugar fiend.
You love sugar. Shaylee's just as bad. Seriously, she's like, ooh. She comes out and she's like, I'm just craving something.
I do like sweet, but I also like some bacon or something.
Chips and sweet stuff.
I could go away from chips if I had jerky or a burrito.
You can't. You think? I'll make my tea. You can sit down.
I'm gonna come sit, guys, while Zoe makes her tea.
So, what were we talking about? You said we were talking about...
Mina, let everyone know what's going on.
Oh, look at her.
Sorry, guys.
You were saying that we were thinking about moving all over the place, weren't we?
Oh, yeah. And the amount of land. We looked at this one place in Mississippi, and we actually thought it was in Massachusetts. I think I've told this story before. We're idiots. But it was like something crazy. Like, was it 50 acres or 100 acres?
Yeah.
It was something crazy like that. Like 100 acres with this big ass house. Like, in the middle of the woods, but it was all like cleared out around it. It was gorgeous. And it was really cheap. And we're like, wow, Massachusetts is super cheap. And then I called the guy and he's like, hello. And I'm like, oh, hey. I noticed the property and it's really cheap. And I was wondering what was wrong with it. Like, is it haunted or something? And he's like, haunted? Well, I don't know about that. And then I'm like,
we apologize to everybody from...
Yeah, anyone who I'm offending right now. But basically, the guy's accent did not scream Massachusetts. So I typed in, I think it was a plantation house, actually. We typed in the zip code the zip code that came up. And it was, that's what it was. Because we were looking up, she wanted to find something in Salem, Massachusetts. So I typed in Salem, and then when the state abbreviations came up, I guess I didn't look to see it that it didn't say MA. I just saw M and clicked on it.
We're idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, damn it. Oh no, I've just rubbed my eye.
Every time.
Have I rubbed it all off?
You look like a girl who went to prom and then started crying when she found out her boyfriend didn't really like her. He just wanted to have sex. And she said no.
Wow. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, I looked.
I'm from Mississippi, LOL, but now live in Florida. What part of Florida are you in, if you don't mind my asking?
I bet your accent doesn't sound anything like my husband's version.
Whoa, what are you doing?
So rude.
I was trying to do like a Gomer Pyle kind of thing there. Okay, so
is it really? Is it still that strong? That's nuts. I love the southern accent, like the southern states. I don't know. It's comforting, I think.
It is very homely.
It is. From a British point of view, like a southern accent is very.
All of my mom's side of the family lives in Florida, and so there's like parts of me that wants to maybe go do that someday.
Yeah.
You know, because I haven't seen them. Central, about an hour north of Orlando.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is. We kind of we had so many places that we sort of thought about.
We even thought about a houseboat. Can you imagine if we would have fucking got a houseboat? How cabin fever we would have ended up.
But at least you're moving all the time. You can move.
Well, it would have ended up like that awesome Julia Roberts movie with bee holes in it.
What's it called?
Sleeping with the
Enemy. I always
want to say Dead Calm. Who's in Dead Calm?
Billy Zane.
And who?
Nicole Kidman.
I always screw that up, dude.
I know. You see, we have different ideas. Like, I wanted to go to Maine because it's New England. It's similar to what I'm used to, like woods, the beautiful fall, all that kind of thing.
And it probably would have been gorgeous. I just don't think I could have handled that much.
Yeah, and I understand that. Like, I wasn't upset thinking, oh, you know, you're being an arsehole. Like, it's a genuine concern. I'm used to having snow back in England, but nothing like the amount that we would get in Maine.
I do. What would be awesome, since we have the trailer, is if we did do like a cross country kind of thing. I would love to spend like at least the fall, if not the summer and fall or whatever, in New England. Because there are tons of places that I've always wanted to go to out there that I've never been to.
I know. I would love to, like, just explore. But that's the whole point. We have a trailer. We could do that if we want to do it.
We should do like one year on the road.
But I'm worried about leaving the property.
Well, let's get the property all sound. Make my sisters live here for a year. Or something.
They're not going to do that. Well, you could get somebody to...
Somebody will. Somebody will take care of it. Because that's the other thing. Because, like, we've been really getting weird about getting animals. Because, like, one of the things I wanted to do the second we got here was get chickens. And maybe goats.
And he's the worst person for being like, oh, God, I'm shackled to them.
Yeah.
Like, I can't leave because we've got this responsibility.
Chickens, you just throw your crap in there and go, okay, I'll be back in a week. It's like having a cat. Like in Todd Margaret.
I don't know if that's accurate.
What? Todd Margaret.
I know. And they all died. But I'm sure you could leave them for like a day or two if you fed them properly and watered them and all that kind of stuff. I just would be nervous the whole time because there's coyotes around.
Yeah.
There's people who would come and steal stuff. Yeah, they're a huge responsibility. That's what, you know what I mean? And we have dogs, but they would come with us if we're in the trailer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're tiny. They're not going to...
You know what's funny?
Fred's looking very suspicious.
Fred's looking at us like, what the
like,
are you guys talking about right now? Zoe was off the goat idea like the second we got here. She was all like, oh, okay, yeah, well, I'll milk a goat and all this other stuff.
I'm quite happy to do all that. And then,
like, once we got here, she was like, I think this goat thing's a whole different idea. Then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, she saw that somebody was making soap out of goat's milk. Now she's all back. Oh, yeah, I'm back on board. Yeah, we could do goats now. Yeah, soap? Oh, yeah. Let's get some goats.
Sell it.
Yeah. You could sell goat's milk. You could sell goat's cheese. You could sell
I know, but
goat
you could
heads.
But you could do like really nice soap. I'm thinking crafty stuff.
Yeah.
I was worried because nobody likes goat's milk in the family. So
nobody likes milk. I mean, I don't like milk. I'm not a big milk guy. I just don't like it. No, I
don't. I've gone off it since I used to have milk on stuff all the time, but I don't like it.
Is it because the milk here is different than the milk in England?
No, not really. It's just like it doesn't do me any good, I don't think. And it makes it taste like sicky now when I have it in tea. I used to always have tea with milk in it, but I think it's the heat. Not just here, like anywhere in California that I've been. A cup of tea with milk in it now tastes like sick. It's disgusting. And I don't know why. It's just, I don't know.
Hey, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Jess, did you just get a notification that we went live?
We're having issues.
We're having notification issues.
I've been wanting to get chickens for the last 5 years. Still don't have them. I know. You see, this is what we're like. We're kind of... Like, technically, we could have them now, but you're not supposed to... Well, people warn you against getting animals until you're 100% ready for them. And I just don't. Until we have everything
we are
else,
like 8% ready for everything out here. Like
I'd say 5. I think 8's pushing it.
Like, for anyone who, like, has, like, gone, oh, let's follow Black Star Homestead to see if this homesteading or off-grid life is something that we want to do. We've done it completely wrong.
I think they've gathered that already.
Yeah, you guys probably already know that. We should have done a lot of things beforehand, but honestly, we just didn't have.
We were in a pickle.
We were in a pickle, yeah.
We were in a pickle and we had to make decisions fast. So we kind of didn't have any choice in the matter. We didn't do it thinking, like a lot of videos have people going, okay, so we knew that we wanted to do this. So we had like a 3-year plan where we'd get rid of all our debt. We'd do this, do that. You know what I mean?
Jesus H. Christ.
Seriously,
these people are like superhuman. How do you do any of those things?
I don't know. Just work really hard to get rid of all your debt before you go, and then sell your house so that you've got like all that money from that to put into your other things. We didn't have any of that. We were renting a house. We were financially in a difficult situation so that we didn't have the option. So we needed to make a decision fast.
Yeah, it was like either crap or get off the pot.
Yeah, and we couldn't even, like the whole point of moving to different states and all that kind of thing, we had to like factor in the moving costs and all that kind of stuff, like how much gas it would cost to get to a different state. Seriously, all those
moving
things.
to Maine, that was like the first big thing for me in it, was that the cost of getting our stuff from California to Maine would have been more probably than what we ended up spending on just, actually, that's not true because U-Haul did me in the pooper.
Yeah.
After all that. Don't use U-Haul, guys.
Well,
just don't use anybody.
We did get it stuck.
Yeah. But that's why we got the insurance.
I know, which they didn't. It's a long story.
Yeah. Okay, so Jess says she was away from the desk, but the bell said 1 hour ago. And it was 1 hour and 39 minutes ago.
Wow. Yeah,
I think there's a 30-minute gap.
I don't have a homestead, but I bought a foreclosure in 2014, and this stuff is way harder than you think it's going to be. Yeah. There's so many things that you can't possibly account for, like no matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
Like, we watched so much stuff. We read so much stuff. We made so many notes.
I thought the amount of research we did beforehand was going to, like, negate some of the other things that we were missing. Dude.
We haven't
all that research kind of went out the toilet. Went out the toilet. It's almost like pointless, like all that research, because like all the stuff we researched, most of it we haven't even touched yet.
No.
So,
like, we've had to do a lot of research on the fly while we're here.
And the first you researching my fly, am I right? Am I right, babe?
Stop. So bad. But we used to like when we got here, it was so hot, like we couldn't barely think.
How hot was it? It was so hot. But you have to just go slow and steady and use cash. See, a 5 to 10 year journey, that scares us, huh?
No.
Because in 10 years, I'm going to be
ancient.
I'm going to be able to get like discount meals at Denny's.
Good. Look forward to that. And a bus pass.
Oh, man. I am going to, once I hit the age of being a citizen that is a senior, I'm going to milk the system like nobody's business. It's going to be like, people are going to go, wow, that guy's really doing it. He's taking advantage of it. They're going to be just like, they're going to be impressed.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to make them rethink the whole Social Security structure.
What, because of you milking the system in the middle of the desert? Well, good luck with that.
Maybe we'll go somewhere super nice where I can milk with plenty of doctors around for the milking.
Wow. See, the 5 to 10 year thing to me sounds perfect because, like, I think the first, I would say, right, this, let me know if you think this is weird, but the first, like, 2 2 years, say, we'll have the bulk of the building done.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Because that's what you need to do. That's the priority. Okay?
Yeah.
So the first 2 years, that's like a safe estimate that you have the bulk of your
by next summer.
See, right, anyway, I'll finish this thought first.
So, good luck.
So, 2 years, the bulk of your building. Then after that, like for the next 3 years, it's refining that. Like refining all the structures and making it perfect and having your chickens and the garden growing and maturing and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, it's like just slowly adding to it things to make it even more functional. That's how I see it. So it's not the end of, like, we're looking at 2 years to get the main bulk done. Matt thinks that, like, my parents are coming out in March, April next year. They come out every year.
We don't got much time.
We haven't got any time. We're supposed to be getting it, so at least we have a spare, like a bedroom.
See, the funny thing is, we thought we were going to have, I'm like, okay, so we'll have one like dome, like our bedroom dome. So we could sleep in that and your parents could sleep in the RV. Here. That'd be perfect. We talked to them the other day and your dad got all kind of, he's like, no, I want to have a dome.
He was like, what? And my mum as well, they were like looking at each other like, well, we want to be in a dome. We want a dome.
What like, the hell are you talking about?
I know. We were like trying to let them be all cozy in here. I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
But all of us in here, I think we might murder each other. And we do get on really well, but still.
Yeah. Diana agrees with Cat Dancer. Yeah, people neglected to tell me it would take 10 years before I got my house the way I wanted it until after I closed on it. See, those people are Mother Hubbards. And that's why there's laws in place.
Yeah.
Like what we were talking about. Like the reason why permits are the way they are, it isn't to keep you safe while you're living there. It's so you're not screwing the person who's buying your property.
Yeah.
Afterwards. And then Diana says, I bought my house over 20 years ago, just now getting it the way I like it. Of course, I use cash for everything, no credit. Yeah, the one thing that I think
we don't have lots of debt.
We don't at all.
That's one good thing. We don't have debt.
Like out of everyone in my family, I think I'm the one who didn't go that route.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I've had other people close to me who had
running up huge credit card bills.
Yeah, and they were living large for a long time, and then all of a sudden all that got tapped. And they're like, crap, what do I do now?
So in that respect, we're lucky.
We've done okay.
Yeah, we don't have debt, which is an awesome relief. But we also haven't got ready cash that we can just use when we need it, which is good because in the long run we can build it when we need to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, not when we need to. We build when we can, or do things when we can, but at least we're not gonna suffer for it.
If you look at these channels that are really far along, they actually have been really working diligently for 4+ years, and it gives a false illusion when you watch the big channels. Yes, having some permitting issues as well. Oh man, I'm gonna really want to know what those permitting issues are, although Florida permits are probably different than California permits.
Yeah, very much so.
But I'm still interested in that because ever since we decided to do this, permitting has been one of those
the bane
kind of like when you see a car wreck on the side of the road, you have to slow down and look kind of thing. Like whenever someone starts talking about permits, I'm like, permits? I
know.
And I get really into it.
So for example, I was watching this guy who was building, he had tons of money, so it was kind of irrelevant. But he was using trailers, what you call them, storage containers to build this in
shipping containers.
Sorry. In roughly the same area, like Joshua Tree area it was. And he had the area all like bulldozered flat and everything. And he was working out, he was an architect or something as well. So he was trying to work out how to like, best get the foundation set and all that kind of thing. So he tried doing one, he put the plans in. They were like, no, you can't do that because it doesn't have a central structural thing or something like that. So we changed it again, like the plans to get this, container like with the solid foundations.
Yeah.
And he thought, right, well, we'll do this, but it's going to mean it's going to be lifted 2 foot off the ground. And they were like, well, you can't technically do that because if you're 2 foot off the ground, then it's
a crawl space.
It's classed as a crawl space, and you'd have to get a permit. And there was something that he couldn't do it for that. So he was like, well, I'll just make it higher and put like a thing round, like a deck round, all thing. Technically, that's going to be like a hazard for like if there's children's stuff, they could fall off. It's like it's an inch above the limit that you should have it for that. And I was just like, that's it. I couldn't watch anymore. I was like, this is absolutely nuts. It was a guy over in Joshua Tree.
No, but what, like...
I can't remember what channel it was. And I was just like, this, like anybody who wants to try and escape the stresses of life, don't watch that video for one thing. Seriously, I was just like, you like he was trying to do it the right way and trying to do everything like by the county and checking everything.
I think that's why it took us so long because like it
took him like, it was like 50-60 grand's worth of permits.
We decided we wanted to see, that boggles my mind.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, you don't get your money back when you do what they tell you to do. And then they're like, oh, well, actually, this isn't right. You need this. Oh, we screwed up. We should have told. No.
That light switch is an inch lower than it should be.
Yeah.
Like that's technically classed as something else. And I was just like, this, like it took him months before he could even start what he was doing.
It was last summer that we decided this was something we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so through the winter, we did all the fall and winter, we did all the research on it. By springtime, that's when we started hitting all of the walls that we were hitting. Like, oh, if you go here, you can't do this. If you do this, you can't do this. If you start doing this. And that's when I was going into the county office like weekly at that point.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we just said, fuck it, because you got scared. You thought they were going to come and take us off our land.
I was like, I don't know if I can live somewhere where I'm looking over my shoulder every 5 minutes that somebody's going to come and say, you've got to get off that land. So.
Oh, don't worry about it then. If you don't worry about it. If you ever felt like you wanted to like send an email or something and just like vent about it or whatever, we'd be totally stoked to hear about that. But
yeah, we would.
Don't feel like you have to.
Don't feel obliged to, not at all.
So yeah, I mean, it took us almost a year, I guess, maybe 8 months, 9 months before from the time we said, let's do this to the time we did it.
Yeah.
Roughly, right? Because it was probably August.
I don't know, because we talked about it for ages. Like,
yeah.
But the actual, because one of the guys at work, like my boss at work, suggested the earth bag side of things, didn't he? Because we were looking at all different things, all different options we could possibly think of. And he mentioned earth bags and how it's like such a cost-effective, awesome, like building material to use. And there was one of his friends was looking into it to do an Airbnb unit, wasn't it, with lots of pods that they could use for like Airbnb. And we were like, hang on a minute, that might be something that we could do. And we started looking into it, and we just loved the like the whole design of it and the versatility that you can build it as you want, kind of thing, for very little money compared to any other building material, really.
I think the idea to build something ourselves this is so stupid, but it kind of hit me when we were still living in North Hollywood, and I went to the Starbucks that's on the far end of
Oh,
North
gosh,
Hollywood,
yeah.
and it was the storage containers, and it was all painted and done up in that like super.
It's that cedar wood that goes like super grey.
Yeah, but it's like very Swedish
Yeah.
mod kind of thing.
Yeah, very Swedish design.
And I was just like, oh, that's sexy. Like that is.
It was clad in cedar wood.
It was
that goes
it was a
grey.
shipping container.
Yeah.
With cedar wood.
It's over Ventura, isn't it? Is it Ventura?
No, it's not quite that far. And where the hell was it?
I think it was. It was on the crossroads.
It was on the other side of the 170, and that's why we never went over there. Because whenever we would go
when
that
we went
way,
at Kylup, it was on that crossroads because there was an art school and stuff. It was Ventura.
No, that's way down. It wasn't that far down. It was on Burbank.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, when you cross under the 170.
Yeah. You're right. I think.
It's the next light, I think, on the left, on the corner of.
It's when you come off the freeway, isn't it?
But you would have to go the opposite direction than we would normally go.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so, but
That
yeah,
was a
it was a
pointless
shipping container. It was a shipping container with the cedar wood. And then Jason was talking about them.
Yeah,
one
of our neighbors, our friends in the apartments, they were talking about they wanted to,
and it was going to cost
property.
$30,000 to do the whole thing for them. And I was like, wow, $30,000, that's so much cheaper than buying a house. This is the way to go.
That was the seed, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
we started, like, obviously, like, that wasn't accurate, but we were kind of like, ooh. And we started watching stuff and looking at things, didn't we?
That was the sexiest Starbucks I've ever seen in my life.
It is really cool.
Like, if you could date a Starbucks, that would have been the one I would have asked out on a date. Yeah. On a hot date to Del Taco.
Yeah, you know how those go. Super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've thought about it for a while, but not practically until we really had no choice in the matter, and we were just like, we're gonna have to do this. How do we do it?
Yeah, because even G-Bear, I think his channel's like 3, almost 4 years old, but he was already planning all this crap back when he was living in Orange County before he even moved out to the desert.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as like planning how things are gonna go, that dude had it planned. And when you watch G-Bear, he's just like, okay, I got this piece of wood, and this is some of the 5/8, and then I'm going to do this with a bit of hardware wire and some, and you're like, wow, this is so easy. Let's just do what G-Bear's doing. And then you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
He's like extremely talented and handy.
He just, like, I mean, he's got two containers full of tools and stuff, like drawfuls.
That's the other thing that really gets us when we're watching. Okay. Now we're on the same page, because I was just going to bring up the bronies. No, I'm just kidding. My Little Homestead. Yes, My Little Homestead was when we first decided we were going to do Earth Bags. Zoe found My Little Homestead, and I immediately did not want to watch that channel at all, because
such a nightmare.
It was very high energy. Like, they have the intro, like the song, the little peaky guy, and then they're like, "Hi everybody, last week," and I was just like, that is like too much. They got to turn that down if I'm gonna get.
I loved it because
she thought it was amazing right off the bat.
All the dogs, I was just like, oh my god, they're so cute.
And I found some other Earthbag videos. I think it was the Ironheart ones.
The Ironheart ones.
And I'm like, I'll watch these. So we watched those until we were done, and we're like, okay, now what the hell are we gonna do?
There aren't actually that many.
There's not. There are some, and there's a lot of projects that are started, but not finished that I've seen on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some that are even bulletproof. And we'll just leave that one there.
Yeah, there was a guy
We'll just leave that one there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
There
so
wasn't anything weird about
No.
it. It was just like the bulletproof. And I was like, I don't know how useful that's going to be. It might have been for him in his area.
okay, but so Zoe got me on My Little Homestead, and then I became like a big ol' MLH supporter, almost to the point where I would buy one of those T-shirts. Not quite. Very close, not that close.
But they were amazing because every house that they built, if anybody hasn't watched it, it's a family who moved from the city to Arizona.
Okay, Shay, tell us the story.
No, they moved from the big city to like a very. Why are you laughing?
Because you're doing the whole bit that they do at the end. Hi, we moved from the big city.
What I'm trying to say is they moved from the city to the desert. You know, I don't know why he's laughing so much at it. From the desert to a very rural area. There was one building there which they built onto. They added to that. And then all the other buildings for the kids, there's like four kids. They were little kids when they started, but they're now like teenagers and adults.
Yeah.
And they all have a building each to live, like for their bedroom or their living space or whatever. So the adults have like the big area with the like added. They adapted all that, didn't they?
Yeah.
That one building that was like dropping down.
What?
I think there was a house there when they started.
Oh yeah.
They added to that and they've got like a huge kitchen living area and the bedroom.
And they did the studio and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
They're all earthbag round.
And they also have lots and lots of help and heavy equipment.
Yeah.
Boom. That is the thing. We watched a video.
Very
was it last night or the night before that we watched that video?
Oh, the upside of downsizing. Yes, I found that the other day and started watching it. That's that guy who was doing the sunshades that I was telling you about. He was doing like the shade cloth, and he had all he'd rigged it all up down the side of the trailer. That was it was really good. I just need to watch more.
I had toyed with the idea of using a shipping container for some property in Mississippi. That would have been good. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it can be a little much. Matt is ready for war. I'm not the one saying they're bulletproof. I'm just saying. I watched My Little Homestead. They are very talented. Yes, they are. A small channel that I really like is Upside Downsizing. They also have lots of help and heavy equipment. Now, the heavy equipment
Dream Project.
I don't know if that's the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think it might.
But all these are like in Arizona, so I don't know how. Arizona and here where we are, it's actually very comparable.
Apart from they have more like trees. They have mesquite trees, like bigger trees. They seem to have in
I think
Arizona.
That's just because they're planted there.
No, they always seem to have like.
Because you could have mesquite trees out here if you wanted.
Yeah, I know, but it seems to be that like the channels that we watch, there seems to be more like.
Because I've driven through Arizona many times, and there are plenty of roads that look more barren than even that. Especially like through there.
No, but like if you think of, there's My Little Homestead, there's the guy whose trailer got broken into and stuff, and a lot of it there's like more greenery than there is here.
It depends on where they are in Arizona, because there is.
It's just the channels that I've seen. There seems to be
the prices are out there in Arizona too.
Yes, they are. Yeah. And the handyman.
Yeah, and home.
They all have trees, right?
Homesteadonomics is Arizona, and that one family who have like a full farm and a housing tract.
Oh yeah.
With the water that comes in out of the ground.
Yeah.
They're in Arizona. Arizona's a place, man. But the thing that was tripping us out about My Little Homestead is we were watching it, and they have all the tools for every single thing you could possibly ever imagine that you would ever maybe need. And so they're like, air compressing nail gun.
Yeah,
like,
everything's
like
so,
everything's done in like 2 seconds.
because they've been like that since
Doing
they
it
were
forever,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like the mechanics. They do, if the car breaks down,
They
just
build a new car.
Yeah, they take the engine apart and fix it. Like, we are so crap in that respect. We're starting from scratch.
Yeah. And then there was another channel. Oh, Doug and Stacy. I was watching a video of theirs the other day. A hammer. Yeah.
I know.
Hammer time.
Yeah, it's like a
hammer time.
Don't egg Jess on trying to get to encourage you to sing stuff.
Hammer time. Hammer time.
It's like a
hammer time.
Air compression like hammer, isn't it? It's just basically
a nail gun,
like a nail gun that you just like, instead of hammering the nails in.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do all that. We don't need all the
we don't need all that.
A lot
but
quicker
it's just
and more efficient.
Yeah.
If you happen to have all the time saving stuff.
And what I was saying was that I watched a Doug and Stacy video, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and he was saying that like they've lived there 8 years and they seem like they know everything. And he was saying that when they got there 8 years ago, he didn't know how to freaking do anything. And he's had to learn every single thing that they do out there. And that's very reassuring.
Yeah.
Because they are on top of it. Like their poo don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Bulletproof. All right.
It is though. They have everything together. They've got a beautiful setup. They have everything they need, and they're learning. They're still learning as they go, but they started without knowing anything.
Yeah.
That's very encouraging.
I was playing on the whole. I only need this hammer for everything. Oh yeah. Just need a hammer. Just hammer stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Hammer time.
He's like
hammer time. Hammer time.
He hammers everything, and it's kind of worrying, don't you?
They have turned that into a business. Yeah. Well, you got to hammer stuff. You know, make stuff stick. Boom. Hammer time. Hammer.
They have as well, and they're also part of this huge Roots and Refuge, all that White House on the Hill. Cog Hill, is that part of it as well?
I don't think so. Cog Hill's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Cog Hill.
But they're all this part of this huge like community that are like, they go to all the farming expos and all that kind of homesteading expo thing, and it just also
Hammer time.
You're a nightmare.
Hammer time.
Very difficult to have a conversation.
Buddy. What you talking about? You can talk about anything you want here. Oh my gosh, I can see you down my throat. I ate you. You're in my belly. You're in my belly.
Yeah, so it's very...
Well, we lost a viewer. Shocker. Oh my God, where'd you go?
Stop. You lost another one.
Oh my God. People were like, I've had enough. I've had enough of this. Oh my gosh, that is classic.
Yes. Yeah, they did start small, but they all seem to be at that position where they can, I don't know, they're all in a huge community. Stop! They're all in a huge
Yeah, they are in a huge community.
Which we're not like, we're going to have to go, guys, because he's driving me nuts.
What?
We've been on 2 hours now.
You did what to my nuts? Oh my gosh!
Thank you so much,
thank you
everybody,
guys
for hanging out with us again.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are all great.
We really appreciate you sticking by us. Thank you so much.
Can you quite hear me?
And we're going to see you hopefully next week.
Of course.
We're going to do the Halloween still.
Yeah, what is Halloween?
Stop!
This is my costume.
No.
It's a sneak peek.
Oh, I'm not doing it.
Hello. Merry Halloween.
Thanks so much, Thomas,
what
Jess,
day?
Diana.
Halloween's just a few days away. Yeah, so we'll do some sort of stream on Halloween. You guys will probably get the notification a half hour late. It's all good. Yeah, they're mostly.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. It's like a business now. That I don't know, like huge. We would like to get to the stage where, I don't know, we're a little bit more secure.
I would love to be more secure, because I'm very insecure. I'm only a hand. I don't even got a body.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to
Thank
go and
you.
kill him now. So if you don't see us again,
If you don't
that'll
see
be
me
why.
again, you know what happened.
Don't even mean
She
this
killed
now.
me. What do you want, dog? Get the heck away from my face.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Fucking